Oh my God, the things you do for barbecue. All right guys, today we're smoking a point and we're also gonna smoke some picanha steaks and maybe some burgers too. So getting the pit fired up right now. It's a hot, as you can probably tell. I'm sweating my you-know-what off. It's a hot day, and there's rain in the forecast. If you know anything about Texas right now, there's rain and flooding and everything else going on. So I had to set this tent up first, and man, it kind of wiped me out just getting it up by myself. But what I've done is I've screwed it down to the deck, as you can see right there, on all four corners, so it's not going to blow away if the storms hit. And the other thing I've done is I've shoved some pool noodles up top, as you can see. I just do the old U shape right there, and then I put one across the bridge and do that, all the way around. So I'm actually missing a noodle there, but you can see it all the way around like so. So anyway, it's a good way to keep water from ponding on top of your canopy. So anyway, smoker's coming up to temp, and I'll be back here in a minute. All right, as I said, this thing's coming up to temp. I just got it closed up. The ChefsTemp S1 is showing 154 degrees. It is wirelessly pushing the Brisket fan, so that's going to control my airflow. Like I said, it's trying to push up. I got it set to 275, so it's going to take a few. And then what I've got it running off of, instead of running power all the way over here, I've got it running off of this little battery bank right here. Okay, this is a Anchor Zolo, Z-O-L-O, Anchor Zolo, 10,000 milliamp hour battery. I did a test with it not too long ago. I got 15 hours and then I just gave up. It was still running after 15 hours. So who knows, could go 17, could go 18. Might have gone 15 hours and 10 minutes, who knows. But it'll get you at least that when it's fully charged. I have two of them. So what I plan on doing is after about 12 hours, just switching them out and letting it rock on. So I know I can get at least 24 to 30 hours off of those battery packs that I've got. So yeah, pit's coming up to temp, and about to go inside and rub it up. All right guys, so here's our point. To me, a point's a point. It's going to have lots of fat in it, so I'm not too worried about grade. I'm not even sure what grade this one is, which probably means it's select. But even so, it's a point, so it's going to have lots of fat in it, so that's all right. You can see we got a pretty decent section right here of the flat laying on top of this point. And you can tell right in there that there's not a whole lot of intermuscular fat, so it probably is a select, but I don't really care because, like I said, it's got a lot of fat down here in the point. This was a pre-trim by the butcher. To me, they took a little bit too much off of it, but I'm just gonna round this thing off a little bit, get rid of those parts that are gonna burn up, and then season it up. All right, here we go. Holy cow. I'm gonna make sure I get this fairly even. I don't want it on super thick because I am going to put some Lowry's on there. About like so. Okay, we're still seeing the meat, obviously, through the rub. Then I'm going to get my edges. Again, I'm just hitting them kind of light. Okay, and now I'm going to get my bottom here. Okay, and that's probably good. I don't want a ton. I've seen guys just cake it on, and I've done that in the past myself, but I like it better, sort of thin. So, and then on with my Lowry's. I go a little thin on the Holy Cow because the Lowry's does have salt in it, and I don't want it to be too salty. So that Lowry's is going to stick right there. You can kind of see. Again, I can still see the meat through all this. I've seen, like I said, I've seen guys put it on so they can't even see the meat anymore. But Get it on here at a decent amount. I'm almost out. Hope I don't run out. And that's it. She's empty, but that's perfect. Okay, so there we go. I'm gonna let it sit for a minute. I don't want to let it sit too long because if you want that smoke ring on your meat, it's not a product to smoke. Okay, you're only going to develop a smoke ring up to a certain temperature in the meat. After that temperature hits a certain point, that smoke ring stops to develop. It doesn't have any bearing on the taste, but the presentation looks awful nice. So I like this meat to be as cold as possible when I first put it in. That gives that smoke ring longer to develop. So my smoke rings are usually, you know, a good 1/4 inch or more deep. So we'll see what we get out of this one. All right, so in the time that it took me to rub up this brisket, this thing has come to temp. It's 2 degrees away. I'm gonna go ahead and put her in. It's blowing pretty clear. I don't know if you can see that at all. You can see a little bit up here. Okay, but it's running pretty clear, so we're gonna go ahead and get it in. And it is 10:55 in the afternoon, well, right about noon. So it's gonna be a late night for me, but running at 275. Hopefully it's done, you know, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, we'll see. I've been running usually low and slow overnight, but not on this one. All right, guys, some of y'all may recognize this. This is our Picanha. And not only just recognize this, but you recognize this skewer. It's from the HEB meat market. When they sell these Picanha, they'll put these skewers right through them so you can cook it in more traditional style if you choose. I like it because I'm getting one of these basically for free. I know they're actually charging me for it, but it feels like it's free, so good enough for me. But all I'm gonna do with this is normally I would just go olive oil and sea salt, maybe a little garlic powder, and call it a day. However, since I'm gonna smoke these first, I don't wanna put that oil on it because I don't wanna block that. I don't want only the oil to get the smoke into it. So I'm gonna actually season these up today with Uncle Chris, okay? Man, gotta love Uncle Chris. That stuff is amazing. Anyone that's used it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna hit this a decent amount, not too much. You know, Picanha's got a lot of flavor in it all on its own. And then I'm gonna smoke these to about 110 internal and then pop them on the grill. All right, there we go. You see that right there? It's a decent amount, not a ton. You know, got the edges pretty good. I don't worry too much about the fat because it's going to drip off there like crazy. So it's probably just gonna fall off, but definitely got the meat on there good. I'm gonna let that stick for a little bit, and then I'm gonna put it on the smoker, like I said, till it's about 110. All right, got my Picanha up there, up top. There's my point. This thing is gonna be rocking at 275. As you can see, I put my ChefsTemp probes in there, and you can just barely see it on the back side of those two over there. But what's cool about those is it shows up right here on the S1. Okay, sorry for the glare on it, but you can see it cycling through each channel. Right now, channels 1 and 2 are my brisket, and then 3 and 4 are my Picanha. So you can see there, it's pretty chilled. It's 34 degrees in there. Had this door open for a while. It's gonna shoot and fight to get back up to 275. But you can see it cycling through. Again, 3 and 4, the Picanha that's already warmer than the brisket. Of course, it's got far less volume. So that's what's cool about that. And it sends it a wireless signal to my phone. So I don't have to come out here and look at this every time. I can monitor the temperature of everything from inside. There's no wires going anywhere. There's only one wire, and that's the one that powers the fan. That is it. So I love this system. It's very well built. They won a Global Innovation Award last year, or maybe it was earlier in this year, can't quite remember, for this S1. But let me tell you, the whole system put together is pretty awesome, man. Give it a shot. There'll be a link for this stuff in the video down below. if you want to check it out. It's pretty cool. It's definitely worth a few minutes to scroll around and look at it. Really love this stuff though. So here's a shot at what the ChefsTemp app looks like. You can see at the very top up there that the S1's reading 261. If I hit the button on the right there, there's my fan control. I control what temperature I've got it set to and also what it's working towards. So you can see it climbing. And then down here, like I said, I haven't set these. I wanted y'all to see this. So 1 and 2 is my brisket. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the cook on these. Set up cook, beef, pick roast, and then there's brisket. I've got it set to alarm me at 200. I'm gonna change that to about 198. The reason for that is I'm gonna do a long hold on these, probably 12 hours. So if you're gonna do a 12-hour hold, you don't need to necessarily take it all the way up to 203. So I want it, let me know just a little bit ahead of that, and I'll get it off about then and start the hold. Okay, down here, these two are my picanha. I haven't set for picanha yet, so let's give this a shot. Beef, steak, there is picanha right there. And again, I'm gonna finish this on the grill, so I'm gonna take it to 110. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. Set up cook, beef, picanha, 110, start cook. All right, there we go. So you can see it right there in the app. It is, it'll show you the minutes. Now it takes a while. It's gonna have to read it for a little bit in order to see how much time is remaining. So you just see on those, it just says like a little in the orange down there, -M. That's because it hasn't had enough time to really read it and make a prediction for the doneness time. I will say that the brisket one's probably gonna be off because it doesn't know how big the brisket is, okay? But for these two down here, it's probably gonna be fairly accurate. And it will alert you, I noticed on these picanha, the ones that are cooking faster, it will alert you before it hits that time, that temperature. So last time I had it set to 120 and it dinged me at about 118 and told me to get them off. I didn't, I left it on until 120. Then I pulled them off and then the carryover cooking got to about 122. So if I would have pulled it off when it told me to, the carryover would have hit just right. So I'd say to trust it. So I'm gonna pull this off when it dings me. If it dings me at 108, I'm getting it off. If it dings me at 110, that's when I'll get it off. I'm gonna let it decide. Plus, I'm gonna take it up to about 120, 125 once I put it on the grill anyway. But I'm just making sure I get a nice medium rare on these things and as much smoke as I can. But that's the app. There's another page over here. This is my ProTemp 2. My ProTemp 2 is a different system as far as the probes are concerned. But the probes will actually run the fan. You don't need the S1. So it's kind of like two different systems I've got going on here. Okay, so there's my S1, there's my ProTemp 2. And I also have a second S1. I don't have any probes hooked to that yet. So that's the setup in the app. It's pretty cool, it does a great job. All right, picanha are going on the grill. These things hit 110 in just under an hour, about 45 minutes really. You can see a little bit of grill marks on it from the smoker, but yeah, let me go ahead and give these things a turn. They've only been sitting there about a minute, maybe two. Ooh. Yep, so it won't take long. We're just gonna brown up the outside, maybe brown up some of that fat, and then it's done. Okay, picanha's off the grill, resting. Made some jalapeno poppers. You're gonna like this. I had a leftover beef rib, and so I diced it up, a dino rib, diced it up, shoved it inside these peppers with some cream cheese. It's gonna be spectacular. All right, guys, lunchtime, and I'm gonna dig into one of these picanha. Take a look at it right there. Gives you an idea what that fat cap looks like. I'm just gonna cut it and let you take a look at it. There we are right here. I hate the fact the probe left that little mark, but the color, really, really good. medium rare all the way through. Now, just to show you, I'm gonna take a little bit near this edge. You know, typically at this point, it's a little bit more well, but that's still medium and maybe on the medium rare side. So there's my lunch. Gonna be good. Ooh, guys, that picanha was spectacular. All I did with it was, after I'd smoked it, and remember I'd rubbed it down with just Uncle Chris, really that's it. But after I'd smoked it, I just hit it with some olive oil and threw it on the grill. And just browned up the outside, got that Maillard reaction going, and man, turned out really, really good. Ate one, saved the other one for probably tomorrow. So yeah, right now I got those poppers in here and the brisket, and they're rocking it. Hey guys, we had massive storms come through last night. Plus I had some people come over, so I just didn't get any footage of the end of that dang brisket cook. It was so hectic running in and out, trying to handle all that stuff. I apologize for that. However, I do have some of these that we had vac sealed before, and I just wanted you to take a kind of look at it and just kind of see. You can kind of see right there the kind of smoke ring that we're getting. This one looks really, really good. Look at that smoke ring on that thing. Anyhow, this stuff was really super tender and tasty. My buddy was here. He tasted it, and he looked straight at me and said, "We need to open a business because this is the best brisket I've ever had." So I was, kind of floored by the comment, but really appreciative. Here's another one. So we're getting about 3/8 to almost half an inch of smoke ring out of here. So like I was saying before, if you start with a nice cool brisket, it gives longer for that to develop. And honestly, I just think the old country does a better job of building that ring anyway. I think it's kind of the nature of a gravity feed. It's gonna do a great job of building that smoke ring. Anyhow, that was my cook. Like I said, it was fantastic. Tomorrow's Father's Day, so I'll be heating that stuff up in the sous vide and digging on that tomorrow. So thanks for watching. See you guys later. Time to eat. Whew, look at that.